Hi third graders. If you caught the end of my last video, then you'll know that I tried to start this lesson on that video and ran out of room on my recording, so I had to start it over. I apologize for that. But we are going to pick up where we left off and go over the spelling words. And as I was saying before, you'll notice that each of these spelling words either has a TCH consonant digraph or a CH consonant digraph in it. And we're just going to quickly go through the words and talk about what they mean, and then we'll move on to our next activity. So you'll see here in this first row we have the word fetch, which of course means to have someone or something bring something back to you. We have stretch, which could mean to pull an object apart and stretch it out, or it could mean what you do when you stretch your arms up to the ceiling when you wake up first thing in the morning. We also have roach, which we know is a kind of bug. Then on the second row we have each, and we know that each is when we talk about the number of something. Like I could say, I ate each of my chicken nuggets for lunch. That would mean that I ate every one of them. We have peach, which is a kind of fruit. We have screech, which is a really high-pitched squealing noise. We have snatch, which means to grab something quickly. We have hatch, which is sort of like a door that you could lift open to get into something. We have branch, which is part of a tree. We have clutch, which could mean a couple of different things. The one that you would probably use it most for would be like to grab on tightly to something. A clutch can also be something that you would press down a pedal for in a car. We have trench, which is almost sort of like a ditch that you would dig out of the dirt that would be shallow in the middle and high on the sides. We have cinch. If you cinch something together, then you pull it together tightly. Or it could also mean if something is a cinch, that means it's super easy to do. We have ouch, which would mean that something hurts. Couch, which is a kind of furniture. Stretcher, that's what you might see if someone gets hurt. If you've ever watched like a football game or some other kind of sporting event on TV, and sometimes a player will get hurt and they'll bring out a stretcher to get them safely into the ambulance so that they can go be checked out at the hospital. We have switching, which would mean to change something. Launch, which would mean to like set something off, like if a rocket ship or a spaceship launched to the moon. And then we have slouch, which kind of means to bend over or to hunch over. So those are our spelling words. And then I've also got a chart that I want to show you that has those same consonant digraphs. We have CH and TCH. And I want to look at the words that we have in those columns. So for CH, we have roach, each, peach, and screech. And then for TCH, we have fetch, stretch, snatch, hatch, and clutch. Now, I want you to notice those words in each of these columns and think about what they have in common. Are there any clues in these words here that are in the CH column that might tell you how to choose which way to spell a word that has that ch sound? How do you know when to use CH or to use TCH? If you'll notice, the words that are in this column, whenever the word has the CH spelling of ch, you can hear the long vowel sound in that word. Now remember, we know it's a long vowel when the vowel says its name. So for example, in this word roach, we hear the O say its name. O's name is O. And when we say this word, we have roach. It's not r-ah, it's roach. In each, what vowel do you hear at the beginning of each? Right, you hear the E, it says its name, each. The same thing goes for peach, p-each. It's not p-e, it's p-each. And then the same thing goes for screech. scr, e, ch. So in each one of those CH words, you hear the vowel say its name. You hear the long vowel sound. Now, if we look over here in this column at the TCH words, tell me if you hear the vowels say their names in these words. F, e, ch. The vowel in this word is the E. If E says its name, then it's going to say E. F, e, ch. Does the E say E in that word? No, the E makes the short E sound, which is e. F, e, ch. So for all of these words in the TCH column, you'll notice that you hear the short vowel sound in those words. Str, e, ch. Sn, a, ch. H, a, ch. And cl, a, ch. So the difference in these two spellings is that most of the time, if you are going to, or if you were supposed to spell a word with CH, then you're going to have a vowel in that word that says its name or makes the long vowel sound. If you're supposed to use the TCH spelling, then that means the vowel in that word is not going to say its name. It's not going to be the long vowel sound. It's going to be the short vowel sound. Now, they say that the English language is one of the hardest languages to learn, and that's because not every word in the English language follows the rules. So there are going to be some exceptions to these rules that we like to call oddballs. But for the most part, if you're trying to decide whether to spell a word with CH or TCH, listen for that vowel sound. If it's a long vowel sound, then choose CH to spell it with. If it's a short vowel sound, then choose TCH to spell it with. Okay, third graders, this is going to be the last thing that we work on in this video. And in this part of the video, I want to talk to you about something called expression. And expression is really just a fancy way of saying what good readers do when they read and they change their voice in the story to match what the words and the punctuation in the passage are telling them to do as a reader. Okay? And I'm going to give you an example of that. One way that you might hear expression from a reader is that you might hear their voice get higher or lower to change with different characters. Or you might hear their voice get really loud and really quiet throughout the story. Now, I've got a passage here called Choosing a Career that I am going to model expression for you as I read this passage. Now, I'm going to start by just reading this first paragraph. And I just wanted to remind you all that the way to know when a paragraph is starting is if you see this indentation. Indenting means that you leave some space and scoot this first line over a little bit further than the rest of the lines in the paragraph, okay? So I'm going to start with this very first paragraph that starts with the word how. I'm going to read this paragraph to you twice. And one time that I read it is going to be with expression, and one time that I read it is going to be without expression. And I want to see if you can tell me which reading is with expression and which reading is without expression. Okay, so here is this first paragraph. Just follow along with me as I read. How do people choose a career? Some people know that what they want to be from the time they are very young. Others don't find the best career until later in life. Either way, it pays to think about your future and what you would like to do. Okay, now I'm going to read it a second time. How do people choose a career? Some people know what they want to be from the time they are very young. Others don't find the best career until later in life. Either way, it pays to think about your future and what you would like to do. Now, which one of those readings, the first one or the second one, do you think was done with expression? I'll give you just a second to think about that. If you said the second reading, then you are correct. I hope that you can notice the difference in the sound of my voice between the first reading and the second reading. Now, one thing that I've noticed is when you get into a really good habit of reading with expression, it's hard to read without it. I struggled a little bit to make my voice really flat and monotone during that first reading without just sounding silly, because I'm so used to reading with expression that it just, after a while, it just becomes automatic. That's just what you do when you read. And so that's the habit that we want you to get in if you're not already in that habit. We want you to change your voice to fit the story or the passage that you're reading. so that we know that you understand the emotion that's in the story or the information that's trying to be conveyed. Now, some of the things that help me to know how to change my expression are things like punctuation marks. For example, I noticed that this sentence ends with a question mark. So I'm not going to read that sentence as if I'm just making a statement. I'm actually going to read it as if I were talking to someone and asking them a question. For example, how do people choose a career? So I'm going to say that a little bit differently because I know it's a question. And then I noticed this last sentence of the paragraph says, it's got an exclamation mark at the end. I can't get just the there it is. And I know that when I see a sentence that ends with an exclamation mark, that means I need to read it with excitement and emotion, okay? I don't want to read it like, either way, it pays to think about your future and what you would like to do. That doesn't sound very exciting. I want to say, either way, it pays to think about your future and what you would like to do. So you kind of have to get into a habit of looking ahead to see what punctuation is coming so that you know how to change your voice. Okay, I hope that that makes sense. Now what I want us to do is I want you to read that to me, or I'm sorry, I'm going to read that to you, and I'm going to read the whole thing with expression, okay? And I want you to listen closely because when I'm done, you're going to read it with me, and I want you to try to match my expression, okay? So here we go. This is choosing a career. How do people choose a career? Some people know what they want to be from the time they are very young. Others don't find the best career until later in life. Either way, it pays to think about your future and what you would like to do. A person who chooses to be an athlete should be fit and strong. Playing a sport calls for quick reflexes. It also calls for hands and eyes working well together. Sports can be a challenge. Only the best athletes become champions and earn trophies. For a person who likes to dance, there are several careers to check out. A dancer might do ballet, jazz, or ballroom dancing. There are jobs on stage, in the movies, at theme parks, and on cruise ships. For a person who likes to speak, there are many career choices. An actor speaks on stage, in the movies, and on TV. A lawyer speaks in court. A professor teaches classes. Working as an artist is another type of career. An artist may draw, paint, or take photographs. An artist may sculpt or make video art. For a creative person, an artist might be the right career. Each person has a choice as to his or her career. When you match up your skills with the right career, it can lead to success. Now, I'm not going to read that passage again, but what I want you to do whenever you are finished with this video is take some time to read that passage to someone and practice reading it with expression. One last thing I'd like for you to do is go back through this passage and see how many words you can find that have one of the consonant digraphs that we've talked about. You can go back to the video, part of the video where we talked about those consonant digraphs and see what they are. Those digraphs like CH, SH, TH, WH, PH. See how many words in this passage have those consonant digraphs in them.